Tonight on Connecticut's news station, a local college community is coming together in a show of support after a student was injured in a shooting. We're getting reaction.
Plus, rising opposition from local leaders about a proposed gas-powered car ban here in the state, while they say the regulations are unfair to residents. And attention iPhone users, law enforcement has some concerns over a new feature. It's causing some privacy concerns tonight.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. A suspect accused of shooting and wounding 3 college students in Vermont appeared in court this morning, but it isn't being investigated as a hate crime just yet.
Police say the young men are of Palestinian descent and 2 were wearing traditional scarves when they were ambushed. Fox's Molly Line has details.
This horrific, unprovoked attack was a tragic violation of the values and character of this welcoming, inclusive community.
48-year-old Jason Eaton of Burlington, Vermont, accused of shooting 3 20-year-old college students visiting the city for Thanksgiving, appeared in court Monday. Eaton pleaded not guilty to triple attempted murder and was ordered held without bail as investigators look into the possibility the shooting was a hate crime. Authorities say evidence at the scene led them to arrest Eaton while canvassing the neighborhood.
Upon knocking on one door, the ATF agents were greeted by a man who stepped out of the hall and stated something to the effect of, "I've been waiting for you."
The Arab American Anti-Discrimination Committee says they have reason to believe the shooting occurred because the victims are Arab. The 3 men are of Palestinian descent, and 2 were wearing traditional keffiyeh scarves while out walking when police say Eaton approached and fired. Attorney General Merrick Garland saying the ATF and the FBI are investigating and also remaining vigilant about the current climate across the country in response to the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas.
We are closely monitoring the impact that the conflict in the Middle East may have in inspiring foreign terrorist organizations, homegrown violent extremists, and domestic violent extremists, both here in the United States and abroad.
The victims are continuing to recover in the hospital. 2 are described as stable, 1 with more serious injuries. In Boston, Molly Line, Fox News.
The violence hits close to home, too. One of the 3 students is a student at Trinity College in Hartford.
And tonight we're learning more about him and the impact this incident has had on his peers. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc joining us at Trinity College now with the latest.
Well, police have not labeled this as a hate crime because it's too early in their investigation. They do say this was a hateful act, one this community, this college, is now grappling with.
It's been a difficult moment for our campus community.
Trinity College Chief of Staff Jason Rojas says school officials have been in touch with Tassin Ahmed, a junior at this school, every day since Saturday. Right now, he's in stable condition at a Vermont hospital as the college helps his family still in the West Bank.
We've had faculty, staff, and students who have been present with Tassin up in Vermont as he recovers from what was a really terrible attack on humanity.
Police say Tassin was one of 3 Palestinian students visiting Vermont for Thanksgiving, simply walking around the block when they were approached and shot by 48-year-old Jason Eaton from Burlington, Vermont.
That these acts of hate are not welcome anywhere within our community.
Police say the 3 friends were switching between Arabic and English just before they were shot. 2 of them, they say, were also wearing Palestinian keffiyeh scarves.
Our community is very afraid.
Farhan Memon is the chair of the Council on American Islamic Relations in Connecticut. He's encouraged by Eaton's arrest, but hopes police take a close look at his motive.
We really feel it's important that local, state, and national law enforcement authorities investigate this as a possible hate crime.
The incident also scaring other students across Connecticut.
That really could have been us.
Jenna R., who is part of UConn Students for Justice in Palestine, says she's seen a rise in hateful comments toward her and her community during the Israel-Hamas war.
We've all gotten stares. We've all gotten people commenting, baby killers and terrorists.
And as police continue to search for answers, Jenna and others hope this violence ends.
I don't think anyone deserves to go what these 3 students went through.
Now, Trinity College is hosting a vigil on campus right near this chapel, which was initially scheduled prior to this incident for those wanting to come together to talk about the Israel-Hamas war. Now the college says it'll take on a whole new meaning as they show support for Tassin. We are at Trinity College. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Julia, thank you. And new here at 6, facing rising opposition from state Republicans and industry leaders, a committee of state leaders will not vote tomorrow on proposed rules that would have eventually banned the sales of new gas-powered cars here in Connecticut.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorst joins us in studio. So, Emma, what happened?
Well, Sarah, Brent, the legislature's Regulation Review Committee was supposed to vote on these new emission standards tomorrow, but now likely will not. I just spoke with the Democratic co-chair of the committee. She told me she has been notified the regulations will most likely be withdrawn from tomorrow's agenda, but she has not received removal confirmation yet from DEEP, the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. Earlier today, though, I spoke with those who have vocally opposed these new rules, their opposition leading to this last-minute change.
This is not practical policy at this time, obviously.
For months, legislative Republicans have been bashing proposed regulations from the Vermont administration to phase out all new sales of internal combustion engine vehicles by 2035.
Now, I don't know what the world's going to be 10 years from now, but sitting here today, this policy is 100% impossible.
These proposed regulations come from a bipartisan law passed in 2004, which tied Connecticut to California's emission standards. Environmental advocates and state officials say this shift is necessary, citing an American Lung Association report which gave 4 Connecticut counties an F for air quality.
We cannot meet our goals to do our part to reduce emissions and slow the pace of climate change if we do not reduce emissions from the transportation sector.
But opposition is rising from some legislative leaders and industry experts.
It's just not possible in our industry to meet this emissions challenge with electric. We've got to have a plan, and this mandate as it exists today simply does not give us that.
Republicans argue electric vehicles are unaffordable for most residents and would be hard to implement because the state power grid needs major upgrades.
Eliminating that option for middle-class families in the state without any sort of plan of how to supplement that in some way is really detrimental economic policy.
We don't have a grid that can support it, and fiscally, this number is already going through the roof. It's only getting higher. The infrastructure needs to be upgraded now.
And the Regulation Review Committee is evenly split, made up of 7 Democrats and 7 Republicans. I'm told the committee did not have the votes to approve these regulations, but up until this afternoon, Democrats were hopeful for a vote of rejection without prejudice. That would have basically allowed them to not approve but continue discussions. But earlier today, the committee was told there was a majority who were going to vote to kill the proposal tomorrow, leading the Vermont administration and DEEP to request the withdrawal from the agenda that will allow them to still discuss this. We're being told that we will have more information tomorrow morning about what could happen with these EV regulations. Sarah, Brent.
All right. Thank you, Emma. Turning to the weather now, it turned out to be kind of a nice day after some rain and wind overnight.
Parts of the day in places I think were nice.
Yeah.
Meteorologist Ryan Breton here now with a look at the forecast. And actually, for parts of the days and places to come, it's going to start to feel a little wintry here this week, right?
Yes, we briefly got into the 50s today, guys, but we've got some colder air moving in. The storm that went through last night just raced through with a few hours of rain and wind. Now, way up in the Canadian Maritimes, and on the back side of it, we have colder air moving in. So it's not so bad now, but by tomorrow morning, it'll really have the feel of December. And there may even be a stray flurry or snow shower that makes it in here. There's a lot of action just to our west in upstate New York, especially around Syracuse and to the south of Buffalo. We won't get into anything heavy, but a stray flurry or snow shower could survive the trip into Connecticut tonight or tomorrow. So here's a look at the trend tonight. We'll drop down to about 30 degrees by morning, but I think outlying areas will be in the 20s for lows tomorrow morning. Then during during the day tomorrow, we make it back to 40 in New Haven, 39 in Wallingford, eastern Connecticut, mid to upper 30s, probably hitting 40 right on the shoreline. And as you'd expect, the coldest spots will be the Northwest Hills, the ice box in Norfolk, a high of 31 tomorrow. But that's not the whole story. There will be some wind. So at lunchtime tomorrow, it's feeling like the 20s. And then tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, it will start to feel like the teens. So a chilly stretch ahead. We'll talk about how long it lasts and look at the next chance for rain, too, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Ryan, thank you. New London police are investigating after one of their officers was involved in a shooting over the weekend. They say it happened at a hotel near Coleman Street and North Frontage Road. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin is in New London with the details.
Police have really not released a lot of information so far, but what we do know is that an officer shot a man here at this hotel behind me while they were trying to investigate a different case. New London police say just before 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, officers were called to the America Best Value Inn for reports of a shooting. The investigation into that report led them here across the street to the Clarion Inn. It's not currently clear if they found a victim at that first hotel. Officers say they were in search of a specific man at the Clarion Inn. They eventually found him in one of the rooms, but that's when the shooting started. We do not have any details right now as to what started the altercation, but police say the man was shot by an officer and then taken to the hospital. Officers do not have an update on the man's condition at this time. And of course, this case has been turned over to state police and the Inspector General's office to continue that investigation. That is typical when an officer is involved in a shooting. They always turn it over to both of those entities. We, of course, will get any information that they do release out to you as soon as we can. In New London, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And Brooke, thank you. New Haven police are searching for the person responsible for shooting and killing a man there. Officers say the shooting happened just after 2 yesterday morning on Campbell Avenue. They responded after getting calls about a fight in a parking lot. Officers say the man who was shot was taken to the hospital where he later died. His identity has not been released at this time.
Connecticut State Police are releasing their final Thanksgiving travel statistics. This is for the period beginning Wednesday, ending at 11:59 last night. State Police responded to more than 5,800 calls, including more than 400 crashes. These numbers are down slightly from 2022 and 2021. Police also made 30 DUI arrests. That number is also down compared to the last 2 years. Bristol police have identified the 2 people killed in a crash on Thanksgiving. Police say Toby and Brooke Cohen were killed in that crash. Police believe their car veered off Stephen Street and hit a road sign and trees. The car continued through the woods before coming to a stop. 3 children between the ages of 2 and 6 were also in the car. They were all taken to the hospital, but their conditions are unknown.
A woman is dead after police say her vehicle went off the road and hit a tree in Woodbridge. This happened Saturday morning on North Pease Road between Fairgrounds and Amity Roads. The driver, 46-year-old Jessica Ciola of Bethany, was pronounced dead on the scene. Anyone who witnessed this crash is asked to call police.
And in Hebron, a Bolton woman has also died. Investigators say her car hit a tree. The crash happened shortly after 2 a.m. Sunday. State police say 23-year-old Sydney Ladeau was traveling on Route 85 near East Street when she suddenly veered off the road, hit a mailbox and then a tree. She was pronounced dead on the scene. This crash is still under investigation.